When my daughter-in-law Rebecca stood up at our Christmas dinner table with 20 family members watching and announced, "I just want everyone to know that Michael is giving me full ownership of the family house. His mother won't be getting anything," I thought I had misheard. The family house. The house my father built in 1952. The house where I was born. Where my late husband Thomas and I raised our children. The house I promised would stay in the family forever. "What did you say?" I asked. "You heard me, Margaret. Michael and I discussed it. The house is going to me, not to you. You'll need to find somewhere else to live." The room went silent. 20 faces staring. My son Michael wouldn't look at me. My daughters Claire and Sarah stood up, furious. "Rebecca, what are you talking about?" Claire demanded. "I'm talking about the fact that your brother owns this house, and he's transferring it to me. So your mother needs to accept reality and start looking for an apartment." "Michael, is this true?" I asked. He finally looked at me, with guilt written all over his face. "Mom, we need to talk, privately." "No," I said. "If Rebecca can announce this in front of everyone, you can explain it in front of everyone." But before Michael could speak, Rebecca continued, "Your son and I are planning our future, and that future includes this house. You've lived here long enough, it's time to move on." I felt my world crumbling. The house wasn't just property, it was my home. My history, my husband's memory, everything. But what I didn't know that Christmas Day was that Rebecca's announcement would backfire in the most spectacular way. Because hidden in the family documents Rebecca didn't know existed, was something that would change everything. And when my lawyer revealed it 3 days later, Rebecca's face turned white as snow. This is the story of how my daughter-in-law tried to steal my house on Christmas, and how she discovered she'd made the biggest mistake of her life. Before I tell you what was in those documents, why Michael went along with Rebecca's plan, what happened when the truth came out, and where Rebecca is now, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. This story is for every mother threatened by a greedy daughter-in-law, for those who understand that legal documents matter, and for those who know that karma works in mysterious ways. I promise, what Rebecca discovered will shock you. Stay until the end. My name is Margaret Morrison. I'm 71 years old. I'm a widow. My husband Thomas died 2 years ago from a heart attack. We were married for 48 years. We have 3 children. Michael, 45 years old. Claire, 42. And Sarah, 39. Michael married Rebecca 5 years ago. She's 38. They don't have children. And from the beginning, I knew Rebecca was different, not in a good way. "Mom, Rebecca is ambitious," Michael told me when they got engaged. "That's not a bad thing." "No, it's not, as long as her ambition doesn't hurt people. It won't." But it did. The house, my family home, has been in the Morrison family for 73 years. My father Frank built it in 1952, with his own hands, brick by brick. He raised 5 children here. When he died in 1978, he left it to me, his oldest daughter. When Thomas and I married, we raised our 3 children here. And when Thomas died 2 years ago, I assumed I'd live here until I died, then pass it to my children. But Rebecca had other plans. 6 months after Thomas died, Rebecca started making comments. "Margaret, this house is so big for just one person." "It's my home, Rebecca." "I know, but don't you think it's wasteful? You could sell it, move into a nice apartment, have money to travel." "I don't want to travel. I want to stay in my home." "But at your age?" "At my age, what?" "Nothing, just thinking about your future." I ignored her. But the comments continued. "Margaret, have you thought about what happens to this house when you die? It goes to my children, all 3 of them. But what if they don't want it? What if they'd rather have the money?" "They want the house. We've discussed it." "Have you?" And she was right. I hadn't actually discussed it formally. It was just understood. This house stayed in the family. A year after Thomas died, Rebecca's comments became more aggressive. "Margaret, Michael, and I have been looking at this house. It would be perfect for us." "You have your own house." That apartment is too small. We're thinking about starting a family. We need space. Then buy a bigger house. Why would we buy when this one will eventually be ours anyway? This house will be split 3 ways, between Michael, Claire, and Sarah. But Michael is the oldest, and the only son. Traditionally, the son inherits the family home. This isn't a monarchy, Rebecca. My children will share equally. She didn't like that. 2 months ago, Rebecca came to me with documents. Margaret, Michael, and I have been talking to a lawyer. We want to make you an offer. An offer for what? For the house. We'll buy it from you now. Fair market value, $300,000. You can live here rent-free for the rest of your life. And when you die, it's ours. No. Margaret, be reasonable. You need to think about your financial security. I own this house outright, no mortgage. My financial security is fine. But what if you need medical care, long-term care? That's expensive. I have insurance and savings. Not enough for years of care, but if you sell us the house now, you'd have $300,000. And when I die, my daughters get nothing? They'll get their share of the $300,000. No, this house stays in the family. All 3 of my children. Michael is your child. So are Claire and Sarah, but they don't need it. Claire has her own house. Sarah rents. Michael is the one who wants to keep the family tradition alive. By excluding his sisters? That's not tradition. That's greed. Rebecca's face hardened. You're being selfish. I'm being selfish. You want me to sell my childhood home, my late husband's home, to you, cutting out my daughters. And I'm selfish? Yes, because you're not thinking about your son's future. I'm thinking about all my children's futures, equally. She left angry, but I didn't know she wasn't done. 2 weeks later, Rebecca came back, with Michael. Mom, we need to talk, Michael said. About what? About the house. Rebecca showed me the conversation you had, and I think her offer is fair. Fair? Michael, you want me to sell you the house and cut out your sisters? Not cut them out. They'd get their share of the money. But not the house. The house your grandfather built, where you grew up, where your father died. Mom, I know it's emotional, but it's also practical. Claire has her own house. She doesn't need this one. And Sarah. Sarah's not even married. She's not settled, but Rebecca and I are ready to start a family. We need this space. Then buy your own space. Why would I when this house is supposed to be mine eventually anyway? It's supposed to be all of yours. You, Claire, and Sarah. But I'm the oldest and the only son. Michael, I raised you better than this. Mom, please, just think about it. Rebecca and I really want this. No. Mom, no. And I'm disappointed in you for even asking. That was 4 weeks ago. Michael stopped calling after that. Rebecca stopped visiting, and I thought maybe they'd given up. Until Christmas. We always have Christmas dinner at my house. 20 people, my 3 kids, their spouses, my 7 grandchildren, my brother, my sister, their families. It's tradition. This year, Rebecca arrived with a smile, too wide, too confident. Margaret, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, Rebecca. This is going to be a special one. I didn't know what she meant. We ate dinner, turkey, ham, all the traditional foods. Everything was normal until dessert. That's when Rebecca stood up, tapped her wine glass, like she was making a toast. Everyone, can I have your attention? The table quieted. I just want everyone to know some exciting news. Michael and I have finalized something important. This house, this beautiful family home, is being transferred to me. Full ownership. Margaret will need to start making other living arrangements, probably by spring. The silence was deafening. Claire dropped her fork. What did you just say? I said this house is mine now. Michael agreed. He's giving it to me as a gift, to start our family here. Sarah stood up. Michael, is this true? Michael looked miserable. We discussed it. You discussed kicking Mom out? No, not kicking her out, just transitioning. Transitioning to where? Claire demanded. Rebecca smiled. That's for Margaret to figure out. There are lovely assisted living facilities nearby. I don't need assisted living, I said quietly. Well, you'll need something, because this house is mine. The room exploded, Claire and Sarah screaming at Michael, my brother standing up furious, my grandchildren confused and crying, and me sitting there, numb. Enough, I finally said. Everyone stopped. Michael, is this true? Did you sign papers giving Rebecca this house? Mom, we can talk about this later. Answer me. Yes, I signed papers, making Rebecca a co-owner, with the agreement that when you pass, it goes fully to her. When I pass? Or when you force me out? Mom, it's not like that. Then what is it like? Because Rebecca just announced to our entire family that I need to find somewhere else to live. We'll figure it out. You already figured it out. Without me. Behind my back. Rebecca leaned forward. Margaret, you're being dramatic. You can stay here for a while. We're not unreasonable. But eventually, yes, you'll need to move. This house needs a young family. Children. Life. Not a widow clinging to the past. That's when I laughed. Not because it was funny, but because Rebecca had made a terrible mistake. Rebecca, did you read the papers Michael signed? Of course I did. They make me co-owner. Did you read all the papers, including the original deed, the family trust documents? Her smile faltered. What documents? The documents that have been in my safe since 1978, since my father died. What are you talking about? Michael, did you tell Rebecca about the family trust? Michael's face went white. Mom, you didn't, did you? You signed papers making her co-owner without telling her the house isn't actually yours to give. What? Rebecca's voice was sharp. The house isn't in my name alone, Rebecca. It's in a family trust, established by my father in 1978. The trust stipulates that the house cannot be sold or transferred outside the Morrison bloodline, ever. It must pass to my children, all three of them, in equal shares. And those shares cannot be transferred to spouses, only to direct descendants. That's not possible. Michael owns this house. No, Michael has a legal address here, but he doesn't own it. I'm the trustee. And when I die, the house passes to a trust controlled equally by Michael, Claire, and Sarah. None of them can sell or transfer their shares without unanimous agreement, and those shares can never pass to spouses. Only to their children. Rebecca turned to Michael. You told me you owned this house. I thought I did. Mom never mentioned a trust. Because I didn't think I needed to. Because I didn't think my son would try to steal my home. I'm not stealing. Yes, you are. You and Rebecca made plans to take this house, cut out your sisters, and kick me out. That's theft. Attempted theft, at least. Rebecca's face was red now. The papers we signed are meaningless. Michael can't transfer what he doesn't own. Any lawyer who reviewed the actual deed would have told you that. But you didn't review the deed, did you? You just assumed. Michael assured you wrong, and now you've humiliated yourself in front of our entire family, on Christmas, announcing that you're stealing a house you can't legally have. The table was silent, everyone staring at Rebecca. At Michael. Mom, I didn't know, Michael said quietly. You should have asked, instead of going behind my back, instead of letting your wife plan my eviction on Christmas. I'm sorry. Sorry isn't enough. I stood up. Dinner is over. Everyone who isn't Michael or Rebecca, thank you for coming. Please take your leftovers. Michael and Rebecca, you need to leave. Mom, leave, now, and don't come back until you're ready to apologize, properly, to me and to your sisters. They left, in shame, with everyone watching. The next day, I called my lawyer. I need the trust documents reviewed and reinforced. Done. Margaret, you should know. The papers Michael signed are completely invalid. He has no legal authority to transfer any interest in the property. Good. I want that in writing, and I want a copy sent to Rebecca. Consider it done. 3 days later, Rebecca received the letter, from my lawyer, explaining in legal terms that 1. The house is held in an irrevocable family trust. 2. Margaret Morrison is the sole trustee until death. 3. Upon Margaret's death, the house passes to Michael, Claire, and Sarah Morrison in equal 1/3 shares. 4. These shares are non-transferable to spouses or non-descendants. 5. Any attempt to circumvent the trust will result in that person's share being forfeited to their siblings. 6. The papers Michael signed are legally void. Rebecca called me, crying. Margaret, I didn't know. Michael told me. Rebecca, you announced my eviction on Christmas, in front of my grandchildren. You didn't verify anything. You just assumed you could take what wasn't yours. I'm sorry. You're sorry you got caught, not sorry for what you tried to do. That's not fair. It's completely fair. You wanted my house, my home, my father's legacy, and you thought you could manipulate my son into giving it to you. Michael wanted this too. Then Michael is equally guilty. But you led this. You planted the seeds. You pushed. What do you want from me? I want you to understand something. This house will never be yours, no matter what Michael promises, no matter what papers you sign. It's protected, forever. And when I die, it will go to my children, all 3 of them. And if Michael tries to transfer his share to you, he'll lose it. Completely. To Claire and Sarah. That's the trust. That's the law. That's cruel. No. What's cruel is trying to make a 71-year-old widow homeless on Christmas. She hung up. Today, 3 months later, Michael and Rebecca are still married. Barely. Michael comes to visit alone now. Once a week. Mom, I'm so sorry. I know. I don't know what I was thinking. You were thinking about Rebecca, not about your family. Can you ever forgive me? Maybe. Eventually. But not yet. Fair enough. Rebecca doesn't come. She sends holiday cards, generic ones, like we're strangers. Claire and Sarah still come every week, with their kids. We bake, we talk, we live. In the house that's protected. Forever. My advice for everyone dealing with greedy in-laws: protect your assets legally. Use trusts, use clauses. Make it impossible for anyone to manipulate your children into stealing from you. Because ambition without morals is dangerous. And family homes need protection from people who see them as just property. And for the children, don't let your spouse manipulate you into betraying your parents. Don't assume you know the legalities. Ask. Verify. And remember, if your spouse wants your parent homeless, that says everything about their character. That Christmas, when Rebecca announced she was taking my house, she thought she'd won. She thought I was just an old widow who'd roll over. But what she didn't know was that my father, a man who built this house with his own hands, had protected it 73 years ago. With a trust, with legal documents, with foresight. And Rebecca's greed crashed against that protection like a wave against a wall. Today, I'm still here, in my home, the home where I was born, where I raised my children, where my husband died, and I'll be here until I die. Then it will pass to my children, all 3 of them, equally, just like my father wanted, just like it should be. Have you dealt with greedy in-laws trying to take what's yours? Have you had to protect your legacy legally? I'd love to hear your stories in the comments.